with the Diesel and the Jet. This is Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, it's the Orlando Magic as they'll be playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Looking at the Thunder, in comparison to where they were record-wise at this point last season, it seems they've taken a step backwards. They're trying to make up that ground. And guys, we'll get to see Freak play in this one. He was one of the bigger names in college, jumped to the NBA after 1 year. Shaq, you left early as well. How hard of a decision was it to leave school?
Well, it's never an easy decision. Each person has different reasons why they want to leave, financial responsibilities, or just getting tired. In my case, the Hacker Shack was created. I was getting beat up too much, and I heard my main man, Dick Vitale, say if Shaq leaves, he'll be the #1 pick. So I didn't want to go back, get hurt, and possibly drop.
Yeah, because you could have been #2 if you stayed in here, I tell you. But, you know, this guy, Freak, because if you would have played in that era with Freak, I don't know, Shaq. This guy, you know, he left school early, but he is something unique, different. But I thought bringing his skills to the NBA was big because that helps refine your game a little bit. He's ready. This guy was ready, Shaq.
I have an announcement. You know why he plays so well?
Why?
I'm his father.
Dun, 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 dun.
Love you, son. Congratulations.
That's one of the warmest and fuzziest stories I've heard all season long.
Way to keep up with him his whole life.
I've been working.
Let's go to Kevin Harlan. They're ready for the tip. I've been working.
It's interconference time for these Thunder as they come in as the visiting team. Welcome, folks, and thanks for sharing.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here with another NBA 2K My Career gameplay. And today we are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're taking on my favorite player, Kevin Durant, my second favorite player, Russell Westbrook, and we're going to see if we come out here with this win. And yeah. You might have noticed a little bit of a change within my face. Because I finally got a perfect face scan, or a face scan that looks good enough, and I'm not scanning my face again because that shit took me like 8 tries to get that face, and that's the best face I can come up with. It looks like me. I don't have any problems with it. So the Allen Iverson wannabe thing is kind of over now because I got a face scan, so now I can just be myself, which is what I wanted to be all along. But then you know, 2K and this face scan thing is terrible. So yeah, so I steal it, throw it down. But we're not here to talk about the gameplay. We'll talk about the gameplay some other time, but as of right now, I don't want to talk about the gameplay. I want to talk about the situation at hand that's been hot all week. It's been hot on everybody's mind all week. Why not speak about it? It has to do with my favorite player. Ironically, we're playing against him. Has something to do with his comments towards another reporter who goes by the name of Stephen A. Smith. We all know Stephen A. Smith from First Take. You know, the man of the blasphemous. So, Kevin Durant made some comments. Stephen A. Smith got in his feelings. He told the man about his credentials and, you know, how he don't need to be in your inner circle to know what's going on around you. which is pretty weird because that makes it feel like Stephen A. Smith is stalking people through their windows. Which that I'm just saying, you know, that you know, I don't find that fond, you know. I don't find that very fond, you know, to know that, you know, you ain't gotta be in my inner circle to know what's going on around me. But okay, Stephen A. whatever. But yeah, he made some comments. Now, the threatening part, I'm not going to really talk about the threatening part, you know, saying that you don't want to make an enemy out of me. And I'm going to make this very clear. You do not want to make an enemy out. Okay, that part, I'm not going to really talk about that, because that, whatever's going on between him and Kevin Durant, that's between him and Kevin Durant. What I'm here to talk about is something that he stated that I felt, you know, you right. And that was the sensitivity level. The sensitivity of today's players. And I actually agree with Stephen A. Smith. You know, guys like Charles Barkley have been saying this for so long, and you know, when you get criticized, you know, for, you know, having a bad game, when a reporter just happens to say, you know, dude was terrible in that game, I wouldn't even had did this with him and this and that and this and that with him, you know what I'm saying, I probably would have sat him on the bench and this and that. And then, you know, these players, you know, they get all in their feelings, and then they all on Twitter and stuff, and you know, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. You know how that go. You know, they get that stuff in them, and then the next thing you know, it leads into something that it shouldn't lead into. But the sensitivity of the NBA players these days is out of control, man. It's just, you know, you say one, you could say probably some of the most nicest things about this person, but you know, you say one bad thing, like, dude, you had a terrible game today, what was going on? And 9 times out of 10, especially when they're the quote unquote star player of the team, or probably just the best player on that team as of now, because the team is pretty much ass, but you just so happen to have a bad game tonight, you know, on a bad team, or you were on a good team and you just had a bad night. A lot of times the star players don't, you know, they don't, the star players have a tendency, you know, to, you know, be very defensive when you tell them they had a bad game. Like, you say, dude, you went 10 for 30 something. You went 10 for 30 something. You went 10 for 30. You had 12 turnovers. Dude, what was going on in this game? Like, were you even focused this game or something like that? And, you know, you say something like that and it just pisses him off, and it just makes him angry, and you just like, you know what I'm saying? And you wonder, like, what's up with the sensitivity, bro? Why you gotta be so sensitive about me criticizing you? If you was playing like butt, and I told you were playing like butt, what else do you want me to say? Like, you're playing like ass. I think if you're playing like ass and you're not living up to the standards that we expected, that some of us expected you to play at, then 9 times out of 10 we have a right to, you know, we're kind of right when we're saying that you're playing like ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one season you going off for 20. One season you have what, 23, 6 and 7, and then the next season you 14, 3 and 2. Like, the fuck is that? Like, you know, like Like, if you're just having an ass season, you're just having an ass season. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't take it personal. But that's why don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant is still my favorite player, but I just hate the sensitivity level of players in the NBA today. Nobody, I feel like there's a difference between being pressured, of feeling, just always constantly being pressured, versus being, versus being a little bitch. And, when I think of somebody like Allen Iverson, who was always under pressure because the industry kind of always wanted him to fail because he was just being himself, or a guy like Kobe Bryant, who I know a lot of Laker fans or Kobe Bryant fans don't like to talk about it, but the little Colorado incident. And I just respect those type of dudes, who just go out there and just be like, I'm gonna still go out here and I'm gonna be, the best that I can be to my abilities, because I'm gonna let my game do the talking, and I'm gonna let my outside situations, not distract me from what I'm trying to do. Like, all the bullshit Allen Iverson went through, he still went out there and played like 110% every game. Then there's Kobe, who I have to say, Kobe, going through what he went through, that right there was enough respect to be earned right there within itself. I mean, like, dude, he was dealing with a rape charge and just went out and just played out of his mind every night. No filter, he didn't complain, he didn't talk about it, he didn't try to hide from it or nothing. He just said, you know what? He didn't let it get to him. He stayed focused, and it just shows like the demeanor of some of the players. It just shows the demeanor of those type of guys. Like, they're not sensitive to what everybody says around them. Like, you could say all these mean things about them, but at the end of the day, the one thing you will never be able to discredit them on is their ability to play the game of basketball. That's probably the one thing you can never discredit them on, is how they play the game of basketball. So I think if a lot of players would take that mindset that Allen Iverson or Kobe Bryant does, or even a Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody idolizes Michael Jordan, but fails to realize that Michael Jordan never gave two shits about what anybody said, because he proved you wrong every fucking season. So how about just letting your game do the talking and not doing all the talking, not doing all the talking in front of the camera, and just playing the game of basketball in front of the camera, and just letting your game do all the talking for you in front of the camera. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sensitivity of these NBA players today is ridiculous. They get pissed off at you because they said you had one bad game. You're having a terrific season, but you had one bad game. Criticize you on it. Just a little bit of criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always has problems with his. He always has problem defending on his left side. You get offended by that, really? You suck on defense when they go to the left, and you're offended by that. But then in the off season, it's funny how they say they get all defensive about it, and then in the off season, it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to work on my left side, you know what I'm saying, get myself back in, I didn't want people to start blowing past me like they did all season long. Come on, man. You was sitting there defending it, but now you admitting the fact that you suck on defense when they run to the left side. Come on, man. But that's just me though, man. As you can see, we lost this game. tried to keep us in it, but we couldn't stay in it. I don't know why Westbrook was still at the line, but whatever. Oklahoma City Thunder going to walk away with this win. And that's pretty much about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. It's just my personal opinion. You may have your own opinion, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, tune in. Peace out.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Russell, obviously your ability to attack on offense is such a key for your team. How do you decide when to go to the hoop and when to pass the ball?
I never know.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan player of the game, Russell Westbrook.
When you're facing Westbrook, you're always going to have your hands full. And tonight, he proved that once again. There's only one thought going through Russell's head. Attack, attack, attack. I know that was 3 thoughts, kid.
He flat out dominated. I mean, you see the kind of plays he was making all over the court. This is the game, no matter who they put on him, he wasn't going to be denied. His offensive power was in full effect.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night, and we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.